I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video. I've been doing videos about stealth camping in a big city. In my situation, I live in Seattle, Washington. So I was doing some videos about where the best place is to park your car, to kind of blend into the city, and then also places to use the restroom when you're trying to stealth camp in your car and you need to go. Sometimes it's very difficult to find a public restroom in a place like Seattle because they seem to be very restrictive on letting the general public use the restrooms just because there seems to be such a large homeless population in Seattle. So a lot of times they try to, I guess, keep the homeless out of public restrooms. And so sometimes it's very hard to even just find a bathroom at a local park, regardless if you happen to be living in your car or you're just a regular local citizen. It's just there's no restrooms. So you can watch those videos if you'd like, but today I actually want to talk about one other thing. Most people have the idea that you can park your car at the local Walmart, and because I've done a lot of traveling throughout the United States, usually Walmarts are known as the place that you can go park your car and stay overnight, and it's totally something that they welcome. And I think the reason for this is because most Walmarts, they're open 24 hours a day, and so people are coming and going all hours of the night anyways. So if you parked your car there, you would just blend in. Maybe it would just seem like you're just the usual shopper. I wouldn't say they advertise, but it's just kind of like a well-known thing that you can always park at Walmart. And that's kind of how it was when I lived in Arizona. A lot of times you see the big rig semi truck drivers would park there overnight, pull off the highway, park there as part of their scheduled break times if they're supposed to take a certain amount of hours of rest time. Okay, so then I moved up here to Washington from Arizona, and I was kind of surprised to see that Walmarts weren't open 24 hours because I thought that was just like something the Walmarts are always open 24 hours, but that wasn't the case. I came here and the Walmarts that I went to, they would close at 11 p.m. and then maybe open up at 6 in the morning. So I had it in mind that, well, that's fine. I'll just park in the parking lot. And then at least that way, at 6 in the morning, I can get up and I can use their restroom if I have to go. Well, to my surprise, there were signs up all over the place saying no overnight camping, which I thought that's what Walmart was all about, that you're supposed to go there and do overnight camping. But apparently I was wrong. Here in Washington, they don't want that. The Walmarts were not open 24 hours, and the sign said no overnight parking. And so then I kind of thought, well, you know what? I see that they may be closed, but there's still some people working the overnight shift because there's cars in the parking lot. They're probably in there like stocking the shelves and everything. So I was like, I'm just gonna park in the parking lot anyways, because hey, if they tell me to move, that's fine, I'll move. But I'll go ahead and I'll park in the parking lot, and thought I was being sneaky and getting away with something. I parked my car, hoped I would just blend in like all the other cars that were parked in the parking lot. And for one thing, they had some like street sweeper guy going around basically cleaning the whole parking lot the whole night. It was like this really loud street sweeper machine driving around the parking lot. You had people out there with like leaf blowers doing all sorts of like cleaning the parking lot, just making all sorts of noise. So basically, that whole night I got zero sleep. I tried to sleep, but it was so loud that there was no way I could have slept. And then, I was kind of like waiting it out. Couldn't wait till they opened at 6 in the morning because I wanted to get up and use the restroom. And, eventually what I realized is like this probably wasn't the best place for me to try to sleep at. And I actually tried to do it one more time after that. And it was kind of like same deal. It seemed like the guy with the leaf blower was directly outside of my car, just blowing the leaf blower at my car. I mean, that's how loud it was. That seemed to be how close the guy was. Oh my goodness, there's a crow crowing at me. So I decided that maybe the Walmarts are not going to be the best place to camp out overnight, at least not here in Washington. And one more thing I should say is, as far as me living in the Seattle area, me talking about Washington, there's actually no Walmarts in Seattle. So all the Walmarts I'm talking about were kind of outside of Seattle. Uh, so there are no Walmarts in Seattle. But I did try to find Walmarts around Washington to sleep at overnight. It did not work for me. I would not recommend it. It might work if you're in another state or another area of the country, but it did not work for me here in Washington.